Hello everyone, this is Susan Dakazaku with GetYourNettingGear.com. I'm going to be doing a presentation on the lowdown on follow-up systems. We develop websites in our business and our goal is to get more customers for you through your website. The problem is there are a lot of gaps in what websites are doing to capture those leads, as well as in the follow-up with those leads, there are gaps as well. So our goal is to plug those gaps up. We're going to learn more about how to do that during this presentation. So in past webinars, we've done this program called the digital domino effect, where if you take an action and if you line up your ducks in a row, that there would be an end result, which ideally is going to be the click in your cash register. However, as we mentioned, if you think about your domino effect, almost like a bucket brigade, where you're trying to pass water from one end to the other to get from point of contact to point of sale. And if your bucket's got holes in it, that's where you're going to be missing the opportunities. And we're going to demonstrate where some of those holes for businesses are. So the question for you is, are there holes in your bucket? We're going to talk about the contact life cycle first of all. As I mentioned, our goal is to get you leads, and so that lead may come from your website, maybe referrals, maybe a direct mail campaign, but basically it's to attract interest in your business, and that's called marketing. You do have to invest time and money to do that, obviously. The next step in the life cycle is to capture those leads. Just because somebody has expressed interest, they're still not a lead unless you have a way to contact them. So you have to have their interest as well as the information. They may contact you, which is the point of contact, or if they provide you their email address or their return contact information, that is obviously the next step. Once you've got their contact information and you've been in touch, now you want to nurture that prospect, meaning you're going to initiate a call, a meeting, basically to move them towards a point of decision. And sometimes that may take one call. For a lot of us, it may take several calls. They say in marketing that it takes about 7 impressions before you can actually convert that initial contact into a customer. So you have to have a plan on what that nurturing process will be. Now you need to convert the sale. So once you've got that sale, you can have a contract, an invoice, a form of payment. So that's, again, part of the whole cycle in getting them from that click-to-customer standpoint. Now we're going to cover these 4 aspects during this webinar, but I did want to follow up and let you know that the cycle's still not over, because now you have to have a delivery system or fulfillment, and you might also want to have a survey. Once the fulfillment is done, how happy were they with your product or service? Moving on, do you have a way to upsell them? Meaning, do you have additional products or services that you can provide them down the line so that you convert that customer into more sales? They say it's a lot more expensive to get new customers than it is to upsell an existing customer. So we're going to talk about that during our next webinar. The last part of it is to get referrals. Again, word-of-mouth marketing is very powerful. So how can we get more customers from the happy customer that we just had? So let's break it down a little bit. The first part of the funnel was the marketing standpoint. So I'm going to review for you something that I cover in a lot of my webinars, which is the magic marketing formula. The M in the magic stands for the message. What information are you trying to convey? And again, if they have information on a flyer from a direct mail or from your website, sometimes you have to be very concise about what that message is, because a lot of times people aren't going to spend a lot of time researching and reading about all that you provide. So they just want to know what's in it for them, which brings us to the second part of our magic marketing formula, which is the audience. Who are you trying to reach? What are their needs and wants? For those of us who might service different kinds of businesses or customers, we may have several target markets. So sometimes you need to fine-tune the message specifically towards that target market or audience. The next part is to grab their attention. What makes you better than your competition? Obviously, if people are searching out your website, they're likely to be checking out the websites of your competition. So how are you going to stand out and be different? There's a book out there called The Purple Cow, and it talks about being a purple cow in a brown cow world, meaning you have to be on the short list. So when people have done their research and they're ready to make some calls, they're likely not going to call every single person that they checked out. But so we want you to be in the short list of the ones that are at least going to get a call for the next opportunity to close that sale. Next part of the magic formula is involve their emotion. You have to hit their hot button, whether it's a want or a need that they want fulfilled. Also creating a sense of urgency, maybe with a limited time offer or a seasonal special. And again, you want to solve a problem or fulfill that want or need. And how do you convey that within the context of your message? Again, in a short period of time. And the last and possibly the most important of all of these, although they're all important, is a call to action. You need to tell them what you want them to do next, whether it's to pick up the phone or fill out a form or to schedule an appointment. Not only do you have to tell them what you want them to do, but make it easy for them to do that. And we're going to look at some examples of that. So this, in a nutshell, is our magic marketing formula. So again, we offer a free digital diagnostic. So if you're not sure your website or other marketing programs have the magic formula in them, we offer a free 30 to 40-minute call on that. So check for resources at the end of this video. So let's talk specifically about conversion, or that call to action, and that's why it's so important. Do we want that conversion to be a phone call? We suggest on your website that you have that number anchored at a certain location. We like the top right. And then also on a mobile device, have there specifically a click to call button so that they can just click that button and it will dial from their phone. Again, we offer that free digital diagnostic, so if you don't know how to go mobile or aren't mobile yet, definitely something to look at, because we're finding about 25% of traffic right now is coming from mobile devices, and that click to call just is so easy for people to do. We really want to make sure that you take advantage of that. On our website now, you'll see on the bottom right a pop-up that's actually a scheduling system, so that they can set an appointment. Or you can also get a call from that button as well. So when they click on that, up pops options for what they can schedule. So you can have phone meetings, face-to-face meetings. In fact, we use this to get a free digital diagnostic set up for you. So again, you can use a system like this. The one that we use is Visita, and it's for just that scheduling program, it's less than $10 a month. And the time it will save you in terms of playing phone tag as to when people are available, or calendar roulette, it's really worth the $10 a month. Again, we'll provide the links at the end of this video. And there's a free trial for 30 days too as well. Okay, back to the call to action. Another conversion option is to capture their email, because we cannot control how often people go to our website, and if we have new information about a product or service or special offer, how do we let them know? Getting their email and sending them a newsletter would be one way to do that. And we suggest, rather than putting sign up for my newsletter on your website, which we see a lot, is to offer them some kind of incentive. Say you'll send them a coupon for a special deal if they sign up for your VIP list, and that's what we like to call it. Or it might be a report or some kind of information that you don't post on your website that only those on your VIP list will receive. So give them some reason to give you their email. We've been using a lot of surveys, so it might be a self-evaluation checklist, something that they can fill out, and one, it provides you information about where they are, but also gives them information about where their gaps are. They say that the difference between getting a point of contact to a point of sale quickly is quickly identifying that gap in their needs and their wants and showing them and demonstrating to them how you can fill that gap. And a survey and checklist is a great way to do that. Developing these checklists are free, so if you go to our website, you can see an example of that. And it's what I call a SMART checklist, meaning that the responses that people will see are going to be based on the checkboxes that they fill out. Let's talk about newsletters as another form of follow-up. We talked about getting their email so that you can follow up with an email, our email newsletter, and we suggest sending that every 1 to 3 months. I personally don't like getting emails every few days or every week even. It just seems a little too frequent, but you want to stay top of mind with your contacts, so something every 1 to 3 months might be appropriate for you depending on your industry. You can have generic calls to action. For example, we have our free digital diagnostic link on every single email, because you never know in what portion of their decision-making process you may get them. So you want to repeat that offer every single time, even if they've already taken advantage of it, primarily because they may forward their email to somebody else. So pros are, even if they take no action, at least it reminds them of you. I had a client who contacted me after probably 5-year gap, just because she stayed on my email list, and at some point she ended up having a need for a website for a nonprofit she worked with. So it's a really good idea just to be able to send a newsletter reminder every so often, just so that they know you're still around and still able to help them. Cons are, it's kind of a one-size-fits-all. We talked about generic calls to action. The person who's been on your list for 5 years will get the same newsletter as the one who just joined you a month ago. So it does have to be a little generic and not based on what they need at the time that they made the contact. Our recommendations for tools are Constant Contact, which is what we use. It's got a lot of options there, and it's very easy to use, as well as Vertical Response. If you only do a newsletter every 3 months, for example, you're not needing to pay a monthly fee. So if you are interested in that, we can give you some free trials, as well as give you some guidance as to which tool might be the best fit for you. Automated emails, a little bit different than newsletters in that it's a series of emails over time. So if you can imagine that if somebody was interested, say we offer a blogging system, and if somebody had expressed an interest in that, we can send them an email the first week of their interest, and then we can customize it based on their interest and status. So the next email may be, hey, you haven't signed up for our offer for a free trial on this product. Are you still interested? Once they sign up, then the next email was, how's that trial going for you? So you can customize a series of emails over time based on where they are in your cycle. Pros are, it sends a very targeted message, again based on that magic formula, hitting them on the hot button, giving them something that will grab their attention at the time they are in their cycle. Cons are, it's same no matter what their action or inaction, unless you change their status. To explain that a little bit, one of the tools that we recommend is Constant Contact again, but there is a more sophisticated tool called Infusionsoft, which means it can make a decision on what it sends them based on their response. It's a little bit more expensive than Constant Contact, but again, you have to look at the pros and cons as far as what your return on investment is on giving people some very specific emails. And we can offer that free trial for Constant Contact. So let's talk about contact management a little bit. What contact management does is it can set your billing up, set appointments for you, give you a to-do list or task for specific clients or even contacts, and a follow-up system. So it can save you a lot of time because it will keep track of that for you, unless you're really, really good about keeping it track yourself by memory, which I'm not really good at. It can provide you an option for tickler systems. Again, if you use yellow sticky notes or something like that, if that system works for you, great. We just have been investigating electronic tickler systems because, again, we all have our smartphones and our smartphones and our digital equipment handy. So having something that will automatically pop up has become more and more convenient for more and more professionals. These automated systems are called CMS, or contact management systems, and there's a variety out there. Pros: it saves you time, money, and lost opportunities. Again, if you're missing opportunities because you forgot to follow up on a call or forgot to send a reminder that you have a new product to your potential or even existing clients, that's going to be costing you money. So how can we salvage that by having a really effective contact management system? Cons are you do have to plan. You do have to think through what that process will be, and there is often a monthly cost. I have them assisting systems as little as $10 to $20 a month, all the way up to several hundred. So again, depending on your needs and your the value that a customer puts into your pocket, you can investigate which is the best fit for you. A subset of that are the schedulers. I mentioned the one that we use. We use TimeTrade for quite a bit, and it was a very effective program. It's free up to 5 appointments per month, which isn't a lot of appointments, so hopefully you'll do more than that. But even if you decide to upgrade, it's only $50 per year. So we recommend that you check that out. The one that we've been using for the last several months has been Visita, which I mentioned. I really like that pop-up that comes on your website. That will come up on your website as well as a mobile device. What's nice about that is that, to me, it creates that purple cow. We talked about grabbing their attention and being different than your competition. I have not seen that kind of pop-up used in most of the websites I visit, and I visit a lot of websites since it's my business. But I would really recommend you check into that. Again, we can offer a free trial, and even after the free trial, it's only $10 to $20 per month, depending on how many features you want. Visita also handles contact management as well as invoicing, so that's another plus. And we have those free trials that we mentioned. Another contact management system is Aptevo. I've been using this for quite a few months as well. It has template emails, so it's not an automated email system, but what you can do is if you have a series of contacts, for example, I use this for a networking group that I am the admin for. We have a template for a welcome letter, a reminder letter, a invoice for quarterly dues, etc. So we can set up these templates once, and then it can automate invoices but not emails. But it is a really good tool to look into. As I mentioned, invoices can be scheduled but not emails, but at least you can have the templates, and it can handle contacts, project management, and a lot more. And it's depending on the features you want, it's free to $10 per month. So again, another cost-effective way to integrate contact management into your business plan. They offer free trial as well. As far as what I'll call the mothership of contact management, we've been using Infusionsoft. And one of the reasons I suggest you check into this offers template campaigns. So if you are getting more sophisticated as far as setting up campaigns for your potential clients as well as your clients as well, is you can set up a template campaigns that will automate reminders. And where this came into play for me was because I would get a call from a client and they would say, I want to set up an appointment. And then for whatever reason that appointment fell through or they needed to reschedule, and then I would send them an email, hey, let's reschedule that appointment, and they may email back with not right now, and then I'll email them back, and at some point I know that I've missed opportunities because I never really followed up. So what I did with Infusionsoft was set up a campaign. So if after the first call or two we didn't get the appointment, I set them in a appointment tickler system, which every week they would get an email from me, again a template email that says, hey, I haven't heard from you, so if you're interested in setting up that appointment, click here, and I have links to my scheduling systems. So they can set up a phone call, a face-to-face appointment, and it will actually look into my calendar, find out when I'm available, let them select when they would like an appointment, and they can select up to 3 options. I will confirm one, and then it's in both our calendars. And then the calendaring system, the Visita, will send them a reminder as well as myself. So if you can imagine that for one client and how much time that would save, you can now imagine how much time it will save if you have 10 clients that you need to follow up with, or 20 or more. And that's the exciting part. Now the bandwidth isn't based on you. It's basically something that you can handle more efficiently because you have the computer helping you. So that's one of the reasons I recommend looking into Infusionsoft. With Infusionsoft as well, invoices and emails can be scheduled, so you're not having to go manually do those. This is unlike the Aptevo, which only invoices could be scheduled. It handles contacts, project management, subscriptions, and with subscriptions, meaning like if you have monthly services, again, those can be automated, which is, for some of us, a really huge thing, and much more. This one costs over $200 per month. And I have a lot of clients going, wow, that's a lot. But again, if you look at how much time you'd have to pay an admin to handle all this for you, it really, really is a good way to make your business more efficient without necessarily having to hire outside help. So something you can think about. They don't offer free trials, but there are free seminars. And again, it would be something that you can check out. I actually attended about 5 seminars before I had my first call with my consultant, and they assign you a consultant so they can get you started. We are also a lot more proficient on this, so if you need our help, we'd be happy to look at that for you. So again, let's look back at the contact life cycle. Marketing starts with the magic. So if you have a website, email campaigns, or direct mail with that magic formula, you're going to be able to get a better result because you'll have something that will, one, have a very targeted message to your target market, something that will grab their attention, that's different and better than your competition, that will hit their hot button so that they will give you that call, and then a call to action, whether it's a pop-up scheduler, a click-to-call button, or there's a lot of other strategies we can implement. Once you have their information, you've captured their lead, either through that scheduler, getting their email. Now you can set them into a sequence of events where you can nurture that contact till the time they can make a buying decision. So you may have one follow-up or several, depending on the kind of business you have. But now you will have a system that will automate that in some ways, as well as make sure that you don't lose anybody from that funnel if you might if you didn't have an automated system. Now, again, with a contact management system, you have a way to send invoices out, to track payments, to send up payment options, whether they're installments or monthly payments, as well as contact management will track your contracts, keep all your information in one place, so it makes that really efficient. And again, we're going to follow delivery, upselling, and getting referrals in our next webinar. So let's do the math. I'm all about showing the money. Obviously, there were some ways that you could get some of these tools for free, as well as a couple $100 a month. So how you make the decision about what to spend is how many potential clients do you think you can convert with an automated system. So if you're converting, depending again on your business, in our industry with websites, we may have anywhere from 2 to, let's say, 8 clients per month somewhere in the website development system. We're putting together systems to help people with their blogging and their email, so we're going to be looking to handle a lot more clients than the 2 to 8. So that's one of the reasons we've been really gearing up with our automated systems, is to be able to handle and that without adding staff to our business. So once you decide how many potential clients you can add to your system, how much profit does that make for you? If you are a low overhead company like ourselves, a lot of it is really mostly profit. So you can look at that cost to profit ratio and figure out how much makes sense. If you have some overhead with either employees or brick and mortar costs, you would need to factor that again. But once you know how much money you will make from new clients, you can decide how much to spend to get them from a click to a customer. So that's, again, how much you spend per month once you determine the number of clients you can get per month. So it's just a matter of doing the math. Again, we have a formula where we can help walk you through that process. Again, we offer to schedule for a free digital diagnostic, and we'll show you how to calculate that out. So in summary, we believe every business should have a follow-up system in place. For most of us, we start out manually, but as you can see, there are very cost-effective ways to implement systems that may be as little as $10 per month, but that can save you hours of time and save you dozens of clients in the course of a year. It can be totally high touch, again, sticky notes or however you handle your follow-up systems, or entirely high-tech. Infusionsoft is almost, well, it is an entirely high-tech online system. It is quite involved, so it takes a little bit of development to get there, but can you imagine how beneficial that would be if you had a lot of your systems totally online, so you're not missing a beat? And again, the cost should be offset by that return on investment by doing the math. And let's look at what stops us. Needing to figure it out and writing it down. A business coach friend of mine says that if you don't write it down, you're a slave to doing it forever yourself. And unfortunately, as you know, that doesn't pay very well. Doing the little busy work stuff that we often spend our times doing isn't the best use of our time. So if we can outsource it either through technology or hiring an admin, that is going to help us get our business to the next level. But we do have to sit down and make that decision. We need to find and refine that system that works. So again, whether it's a person that you hire or a system that you implement, you just need to find that system and then refine it, because again, it's probably not going to be perfect the first time. You do have to spend some time to refine that. And then just getting used to it. Anytime you start something new, whether it's technology or working with somebody for the first time, you have to develop the habit and rhythm. But once you get used to it, it again will be guaranteed to save you some time and help you develop more business in the long run. So again, looking at the bucket list challenge, as we call it, figuring out what that chain of events is for your business to get you to the customer, and you have holes in your bucket. Do the math, and for us, do one thing today. This was a first half of our webinar series, and you might have been totally overwhelmed, or you might have said, oh, I know all that stuff. But I'm hoping that you found out one new thing that you could do today, whether it's check out a free trial or sign up for our digital diagnostic. But take action today, because again, if you don't move forward, you may not be necessarily moving back, but we're hoping that you want to move forward with your business. So we're on chat right now. I'm going to take this offline for the most part, and if you have any questions about this video, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll provide some links for some resources that we mentioned, as well as to sign up for any trials or digital diagnostic as you want. But thank you for joining us. Hopefully you got something out of it. This is Susan at getyournettinggear.com signing off.